All right, my apologies again for the answer key mistake on number 26 and number 27 not actually being a circle. Hopefully you watched the other video, so you've made those corrections on your own review. So these next ones, find an equation in standard form of the given conic. Well, it helps to identify first the type of conic. So I have a parabola that's opening up, which means that I need a positive x squared. And my vertex then is the next thing that helps me identify the equation. So I need to go to the right 2 and down 2. And then the last thing I need to find is this 4p. Well, p is the distance from the vertex to the focus, so that's 1, 2, 3. And if p equals 3, then 4p is equal to 12, and 12 will go in there as your coefficient. So there is something to notice, this picture is not really drawn to scale because the focal chord length is supposed to be 12, which means that this should be a much wider parabola, but that's okay. We still got our key features from the focus and the vertex. All right, next one is the equation of a circle. So circle starts with x minus quantity squared, y minus quantity squared, and then we need our r squared. So the center is the important part here, getting that h and k set up. So this will be x plus 3 and y plus 5. And then the next thing we need to figure out is the radius. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 squared, if 6 is equal to r, that means r squared is equal to 36, which goes in my equation. All right, this one I have an ellipse, and my ellipse is going to start with something squared equal to 1, and I'm going to have x minus and y minus. So again, key feature here would be finding the center. Well, if this is negative 8 to 4, that's a total of 12, so I need to go 6 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks good. So my center appears to be at negative 2, negative 3. So negative 2, negative 3. The next thing then is to figure out my ellipse is opening horizontally. So the horizontal distance A will go under the x, which we said was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So 6 squared is 36. Then I also need to find B. 1, 2, 3, 4. B is equal to 4, which means that 16 goes underneath the y. And again, in an ellipse, the A is the bigger value because that dictates which way the oval is stretched. Is it stretched horizontally or stretched vertically as compared with the circle? All right, so then I have a hyperbola, and a hyperbola, this one is opening north-south or up and down, so I know that y is going to be my first one, equal to 1. And again, I'm going to start by finding the center point. So if this was 4, negative 2, and this is 4, negative 10, the distance here is 8, so I need to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double check 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my center is at 4, negative 6. So 4, negative 6. Then I need to count out my A and B. So A is going to be the distance from the center to the vertice, or to the vertex rather. 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is 4, which means this will be a 16. And now the tricky thing is that the B value that I need is going out this way and this way to help dictate what is this rectangle creating the asymptotes. And I can't really see what B is, but I can see what my focus is. So one of the foci, if I count to it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I know that C is equal to 8. And now C doesn't help me find this value under here, but it can, or sorry, it doesn't give me the value under there, but it can help me to find it. So in a hyperbola, we know that A squared plus the B squared that I want will be equal to 64, which means that B squared is equal to 48. No need to clean that up because I actually want B squared underneath there. So if I was looking for B itself, I would have to take a square root, do some cleanup to figure out how far over I should plot in order to get the rectangle, but that's not what I need. I just need the B squared for my actual equation. All right, find the equation of a parabola with a focus of 1, 1 and a directrix at x equals negative 3. So a parabola, we know we're going to have one term that's squared. I'm going to start by drawing in our key features. So focus at 1, 1. And a directrix at x equals -3. 1, 2, 3. I think it's helpful to draw a picture to start, just so we can get a little bit of an idea of what's going on with this parabola. So the first thing I know is that my parabola will focus its attention, pun intended, around the focus. So it's going to curve over to the right, which means that I know I have a y squared positive parabola. The next thing that I need to figure out is my vertex, and the vertex splits the difference between the directrix and the focus. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So here's my vertex, which is at -1, 1. So -1, 1. That was a weirdly written 1, 1. So the last thing I need to find is that 4p. Well, p is the distance from the vertex to the focus, so 1, 2. So if p is equal to 2, that means that 4p is equal to 8. So it doesn't say to sketch this, but if I were going to, I'm going to start at this focus, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, because my full focal chord length is supposed to be 8. So then this parabola is pretty wide in how it curves around its focus. All right. 32, find the equation of the hyperbola with vertices at 4, 3, 4, -3, and foci at 4, 5, 4, -5. So I'm going to start by plotting these vertices. So 4, 3, and 4, -3. And then I've got foci at 4, 5, and 4, -5. All right, so looking at this, again, I know my hyperbola is going to curl around my foci. So this is opening north-south, or up and down. So my y squared term is going to be first. I know that's going to be equal to 1. Then I need to find my center. So the center is going to be the difference, or sorry, the middle of the two vertices, the midpoint, which you can count. You can also use the midpoint formula if you'd prefer. So we get 4, 0. So this will be x goes over 4, y goes up and down 0. Then I got to count my a value, will be the distance to the vertices. So 1, 2, 3. So that becomes 9. A was equal to 3. And then the last thing I'm looking for is my b value. But I don't know my b value, but I can find my c value. So c is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that 25 is equal to 9 plus b squared, which means that b squared is equal to 16. So again, if I wanted to draw out this entire thing, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4 over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. This creates the nice box for my hyperbola. And then my hyperbola is going to go like this, curl around those foci with my nice asymptotes going through that red point like that. All right, 33. We have find the equation of the ellipse that has foci. I think I did 32 twice. No, 31 twice. Yeah, you got two number 31s, but that's all right. 33, our last problem. Find the equation of the ellipse that has foci at -6, 0. So -6, 0, and 4, 0. And the minor axis is of length 8. Well, if the minor axis of length 8, I got to first find my center. So the center will be between the foci. 1, 2, well, -6 to 4 is a total of 10, so I'm going to go back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since the foci are along this horizontal axis, I know that my x is going to be the one that gets the bigger number, right? So the minor axis of being length 8 is going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to get a total distance of 8, which means that this actually, b is equal to 4, so that means that this will be 16. This is all equal to 1. So the last thing I need to figure out is my a value. Well, I know that c is 5, because that's the distance from the center to the focus, so the last thing I need to figure out is a. I guess I never wrote in my center, sorry. -1, 0. And then to find my a value, I'm going to say that a squared minus b squared is equal to c squared, which means that a squared is equal to 41. No need to take the square root because I actually do want a squared there. So a itself is the square root of 41. So if I were going to finish plotting this out, the square root of 41, well, the square root of 36 is 6, the square root of 49 is 7. So somewhere between 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a little bit more. And then this would be my final ellipse, if I were to draw that all out. Okay, that's it. I hope that your review went well. That was a lot of videos. You can pick and choose the ones that you needed to watch. Remember, 27 has a major change with that -2, and 26 has a change from that center was written backwards on your answer key. All right, good luck with cumulative number 8.